Hey everyone, welcome to another AppSmash Festival session. This time I get to hang out with Casey from Lumio. Hey Casey, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing so good. If I get to hang out with you, it's always a good day.
I know, and we're both coming to you from Texas, which is crazy, right? It's
But
sunny
not
here.
close together.
No, it's no, it's very far apart, right? Is it sunny where you are, Casey?
It is. I'm seeing beautiful blue skies and lots of deer hanging out in my yard right now.
Oh wow, you have deer in your yard. That's amazing.
Yes, lots of little babies.
That is amazing. Well, it is sunny here in Dallas and it's very calm. So I'm always thankful for that. You guys in the chat, let us know where you're joining from. Let us know what the weather is where you are. Melissa Jenkins, California has come up so often. I think I need to take a trip there. I just need the sun and maybe the beach.
I mean, I feel like I need to visit a lot of these places. We have Estonia in the house, Finland, California, England. I mean, I'm ready.
Croatia,
Let's start traveling.
Ukraine, Finland. I've never been. I actually do want to go to Finland. El Paso, Texas is in the house. Shout out to El Paso always. That is where I was born, Casey. Um,
You're
so
closer to, is it closer to California than to Houston if you're in El Paso? Is that right?
I think that might be right. And that might be why I'm just drawn to California. Yes, so many of you. There is Monica. We were waiting for you, Monica. We have been thinking of all of our friends who are dealing with the tropical storm. I know Monica's in the Atlanta area. So Florida, yes, we have been watching. We hope you're all safe, Renee. Hey, Rebecca in Chicago.
Renee's joining us from Florida. Hopefully you're safe.
It stopped raining, but it's windy. I can't even imagine. Honestly, I cannot imagine. And good evening. We have somebody from London, the Philippines.
I used to live in the Philippines actually when I was a kid. My dad was in the Air
Really?
Force there. Yes, it was one of my favorite places to live.
That's amazing. I bet that'd be a great place to visit too. Yeah. So much going on in the weather. We want all of you to be safe. We're so excited that you could join us today. Casey and I are going to talk about the Wakelet and Lumio AppSmash, and you are kind of in for a treat. I don't say this very often, but Casey and I put a really good presentation together that I'm really passionate about, and I think she really likes, and we really did mash them together. And you can take whatever we have in the resource collection. We'll pop that in the chat later. You'll also get your certificate link, and Casey will be giving away swag when you fill out the form for your certificate. That is part of it. She's got swag, we have swag, so you'll be entered to win that. What do you say, Casey? Are we ready to get going since we only have 30 minutes?
Yes, this time goes by fast. Let's go ahead and get going.
Okay, here we go.
All right. So again, as Tisha said, this resource will be shared with you so that you have all of the links, all of the resources that we're going to talk about today. Tisha and I worked hard on it, and we think we have some fun things that you guys can take away and use in your classroom, or ideas that you can customize for yourself. So let's scroll on through and move on down to our resources. So I think we're going to talk about how Wakelet can help us all under one roof. So Tisha, take it away.
Yeah, so I'm just going to briefly go over this. You've probably heard it every session, but you can use Wakelet to curate shared learning resources, to collaborate with students and teachers. And you can also really use Wakelet, as we've shown all week, to improve student outcomes. So you can do that in multiple ways. You've seen a lot of ways this week. So we hope that you have gotten some ideas that you can implement in your classroom immediately. I know you'll have more ideas today. Casey is really great at sharing the power of Lumio. It's one of those platforms that you can really do a whole lot of engagement with your students, but also be able to hit multiple learning goals at one time, just like Wakelet. So she's going to go over a little bit about what Lumio is, and then we're going to get into the actual AppSmash.
Absolutely. So first off, for those of you that don't know what Lumio, it is a web-based tool. So it is something that you can just go to golumio.com on any web browser, sign in. It's free to start using. And what's great about it is it allows us to use content we already have. So if you love Canva, we can take our Canva resources and put them in Lumio. If you love Google Drive, Google Slides, or PDFs, or if you want to mix and match different file types, you can do that as well. But where the power comes from Lumio is being able to enhance those resources. So we can convert any of our pages into individual handouts. Each student has their own copy, group workspaces where we put students into small teams, or even whole class whiteboard. So I don't know about you, Tisha, but I loved me some Jamboard. Certainly going to miss that tool. Whole class whiteboard in Lumio is a great alternative for that. And we'll actually look at an example of how you might use that in the future. Plus we have game-based activities and things like that. So, and it's really easy to deliver this content to your students. It's very flexible, so you can switch between teacher and student pacing. Students can work completely independently, but the teacher can still have a real eye on what's happening in the classroom and with each of their students, and give that real-time feedback, which I think is really powerful. I've also included, I'm not going to deep dive this, but I included some quick tips on how to use Lumio and Wakelet together. Wakelet is also one of my favorite tools. It has so many different ways that you can leverage and use it. We're going to look at one way today, but I gave you some additional, some tips to make it easy. And I also gave some ideas of how to use Lumio with some of your Wakelet boards as well. And then lastly, I wanted to quickly, for those of you that do know about Lumio, I wanted to share 3 of my favorite new features. So one is we have added a new element to audio. So we've had audio for the page, but now both students and teachers can record their own audio. They can attach it to objects, or they can have it free floating on the page. It's really great for accessibility, great, lots of power there for both teachers and students. And then who doesn't love stickers? I mean, stickers were always my favorite. One of the reasons I went into teaching, stickers and flare pens, right?
Yeah.
They're my favorites. So Lumio now has a bunch of stickers, digital stickers that teachers can use for feedback, that students can use to create content, teachers can use to create content, infinite cloners for like digital manipulatives, lots of fun. And then for our math and science teachers, equation editor, we have had that for a little bit for teachers in editing mode, but what's really powerful is now we have it available to students and teachers in delivery mode, or when students are working, so they can really write those more complex math problems. So that's another key favorite for what's new in Lumio. We have a lot of other exciting things coming our way though as well. All right. So I think we wanted to,
I wanted to just tell you, I went ahead and shared our collection out because they want to see all of your, they want to see your stuff now, and they want to see it up close. So I went ahead and shared it. I know Casey doesn't mind. You can have it open as she's presenting as well, because there is a lot here for you. She has curated so many things. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue, Casey.
All right, so right underneath where I have what Lumio is and what's new and my ideas and quick tips, we actually have a Wakelet inside of a Wakelet, because why not, right? So this is a Wakelet board. This is one that I would use with students. So Tisha and I are both passionate about creative thinking, and design thinking is one component of that. So together we created a sort of a 3-day lesson we might do with students if we were introducing them to design thinking. So what I like about Wakelet is it can really organize my full 3-day plan for my lesson plan. So you'll see I can deliver this straight to my students. My students can easily join with that QR code, which is so powerful right from within here. It's really easy to get them to join my Wakelet. And what's then nice is I can then have different activities in here that we want to drive from. So you're going to see that I have a variety of different features in here. The first one I have is a mini lesson. So within Lumio, one of the things that I can do is I can actually have students join my lesson live, and that allows me some power over moving between different pages at my own and pulling students along with me. I can really drive some of that instruction. So great for a mini lesson. And then I can also share a student share link for students to work completely independently, but I can still look inside and see their work really quickly as well. So in just a moment, I'm going to pop over to Lumio to show you kind of those 2 different links and 2 different ways you can add those to Lumio and why you might use one over the other. But moving down, a couple of other things I like to leverage from Wakelet is their ad-free YouTube option. So for example, if I was doing this live, I would start with my mini lesson, which my students are all with me. I'm driving the instruction, but then I have them set up to do a group project and working in small groups. And I want to have that timer running separately while they're working. So it's really nice that I can just add quickly that YouTube audio, that YouTube timer straight from within Wakelet's waffle over here, which is awesome. And then on my day 2, I wanted to create a choice board of activities. So once my students have planned their prototype, so they're going to come up with a problem they want to solve. They're going to ideate. They're going to create an initial prototype. They're going to get feedback from other teams. They're going to iterate on that prototype. Then on day 2, it's time for them to work as a team to create a finished project about their prototype. And so I love giving students choice in that. So here I have a choice board of different activities that they can choose to do tied to that prototype that they've created. And I've included some things that I want them to make sure are part of their presentation. So again, I love that that can be included right here within Wakelet. And then the last thing I like to do is I want my students to then have to share their lessons and us do a gallery walk. And Lumio is a great tool for that. So I mentioned earlier that we have a feature called Whole Class Whiteboard. And Whole Class Whiteboard is the ability to allow all students to be in one space together, very much like a Jamboard. So this is an example of one that I've created for my students to share their project. So my students can actually share links to their website, if they create something on Scratch, for example, or if they create a video that they want to add, they can add their web link right to this page, or they can add a picture of their project right here. And what's great is I can have everyone in this space and they can click and watch everybody's work. And then what's awesome is with those stickers I mentioned earlier, I can make any of these stickers infinitely cloned. So these two are already infinitely cloned. I could make this one also infinitely cloned. So that means all of my students could then use a heart to mark their favorite, light bulb to mark the one that really made them think the most, and then a hands clapping for the project they thought was the most creative. So I love that we can put all of that together in one space as a gallery walk. Tish, any questions or anything that people wanted to see more carefully before I kind of show how you would take some of the Lumio content and put it into Wakelet?
There are no questions. There's lots of applause, and they love the whole class whiteboard. I think it's really, I love what you said about letting other students see each other's answers or work. And I always talk about this because it was something that I was missing as an educator for a really long time. But the ability, I wasn't giving my students the opportunity to really share and reflect and practice peer-to-peer feedback. And I think this is such an easy, powerful way to do that. A lot of times we think about that ending part of the learning cycle, we think it has to be something super grand, but that is going to hit that mark. So I love that feature. Really, really cool.
Absolutely. And I saw a question like, what are the beneficial features of Lumio? What makes it great? So I'll say what just a couple of my favorite things is I feel like it's a really flexible tool. It allows me to really take things that already exist, mix them and match them with things that Lumio brings to the table. I can add game-based activities that are customizable, something I can really align to the content I'm doing. I have ready-made graphic organizers, digital manipulatives. I'm easily able to add, choice boards and things like that. We also have an ad-free YouTube video option inside of Lumio too, just like Wakelet does. So that's really a key differentiator. And I love for the Desmos and FET are two of my favorites. I know a few of our Lumio lovers are in the chat too. So if you want to drop one of your favorite things about Lumio so that others can learn from you too, that'd be great. As accessibility, yes, we have the new audio feature is really key to me. Let me just show you really quickly what that looks like. So I'm going to start this lesson really quickly. So whether you are a student or a teacher, you are now able to add audio to your page in a variety of ways. So when I click this button over here, one of my options is a microphone. So I can actually upload or record audio. I can also attach audio to objects. So let's say let's grab a sticker really quickly. Let's add this cheering sticker. I can also attach audio to this sticker or any picture, word, text, sentence as well. So I love the flexibility. It's great for students who maybe reading or recording their writing is more challenging. They can record audio instead, which is fantastic. So I love that. We also have immersive reader as an option too for within Lumio. So also a great accessibility feature.
Casey, it sounds like Lumio and Wakelet have some similar features within each of them. I was just thinking, I know the moat session is coming up next. So of course, I was thinking, ooh, if I record a moat and I save that, could I put it in there? Look at me. I don't know. You can AppSmash way more than two tools together.
Yes.
And that's always what I do, but always start with two and then you can like pull in more. But I love that. I also really, I was playing around in Lumio, obviously the sticky notes. It's just because I genuinely like sticky notes and I have them everywhere. So the sticky notes on here using a whole class whiteboard for brainstorming, especially when you're trying to ideate with students and teach them the whole process of design thinking. A lot of times they're doing that, you're doing it as a teacher, but for them to visually see what that looks like is so incredible. So that is my favorite feature. I just like sticky notes.
I mean, I love sticky notes too. That, flare pen, stickers, all the reasons we get into teaching, right?
Exactly.
On top of helping students.
Exactly.
I love seeing all of the ideas being shared. Yes, being able to switch between teacher and student pacing. Melissa is a favorite for me too. Mara, yes, I love the individual handouts and being able to see student work in real time. So thanks for sharing that too. So I wanted to really quickly, I know we only have a couple of minutes left. I want to make sure that I can show you how do you use some of the features that you use inside of Lumio. How do I use that in Wakelet as well? So there's sort of two ways that you can share lessons inside of Wakelet, and it really depends on what your purpose is. So if you recall this first lesson, the mini lesson, I said, I really want to drive that, right? So I want my students to join and I want to control the pacing of the lesson. I want to work through different pages along the way. I want to make sure that they're really understanding what design thinking is so that I'm preparing them properly to do their group work later. So because I want to drive the lesson, when I'm inside of Lumio, I want to actually share with them my live lesson link. So right up here, I have a class ID. And when I pop that out, you'll see you have a live lesson link. This means that when my students click on that, whatever lesson I have open, it will be what they see. So I'm actually just going to pop that in the chat really quickly. And I'll let you guys join a lesson just so you can see what it looks like live. So let's see, we'll open, you know what? Let's open this sticker one. Why not? So I'm gonna actually edit this really quickly, delete all of the characters I have so that we can start fresh. Okay, so let's say this is an activity I wanna do with my students. You guys are going to use stickers to create a story about it could be your upcoming weekend or your past weekend. So I'm going to start this lesson. Now, if you have clicked on the link that I haven't sent, there it should be coming. If you click on that link, oh, it doesn't seem to want to come. If you scan this QR code or go to hellosmart.com, let me try one more time, see if it'll join. This will automatically pull you in to the lesson. Doesn't want to do it. Hellosmart.com, and my class ID is 11311. So you just enter that. That'll also work for you. And that allows you to see right away. And what I can do is I'm going to make this a whole class, individual handout. So that means that each of you now, when you hit start, you can create your own sticker story by using the heart button over here You have all these stickers that you can add to kind of create your own story. And then you could even record the audio of your story as well. And then I could have my students partner up and read each other's story and then see if they got it right by checking it, by clicking and listening to that audio, which is really fun. Yeah, the stickers are so fun, Cheryl. I totally agree. So it's really fun how easy it is that you can pull students into your lesson. So that's what I did if I want to do a live lesson where I want you guys to follow me. I'm in control. So even if I were to add a new whiteboard page, you notice that you came automatically to my page because I'm in teacher pacing. And if I were to add something to this page, you're going to see that added on your pages as well, which is really cool. So that's a live lesson. I'm in control and moving you along the way. However, you're going to leave my lesson now and I end my lesson. Sometimes I want students to work completely independently. So like small groups, I want my students to plan. So when I hover over here, I can click assign and I'm going to get a student share link. That link I'm going to use in Wakelet. I'm just going to paste it right here. And it's going to give my students the ability to join that lesson on their own. They don't have to wait for me and they can jump in and begin working. So that's the kind of the difference between the two links, whether I want some students to join me live or whether I want them to just get started and begin working. All right, so that was a quick and dirty on Lumio. I want to make sure that I leave you with the right resources to help for those of you. I saw lots of you are new to Lumio here. So I want to make sure that you are prepared to keep on your Lumio journey with some resources on the main Wakelet page. So you'll see a couple of things underneath our Wakelet board here. You'll see one that I have given you a link to all of the Lumio lessons I created, as well as my Wakelet board and our choice board in Google. So what you will do, I've given you teacher share links to these 3 Lumio lessons. You can actually click on them and save them to your own library. And again, you can create an account for free in Lumio and you can save these, customize them, or use them as is with students. Tisha did a great job with us on this mini lesson. There's some fun activities in there. This one that you're seeing here is a pot and 6 toothbrushes. What could we invent? Which I love. And then I do also have, if you want to learn a little bit more about Lumio, we have our YouTube page, we have free webinars, we have an academy of free coursework you can take, and our Learn Lumio site is here as well. So just want to make sure you have all the resources that you need. If you do want to get started with Lumio, again, just go to golumio.com and you can sign up for free.
That's amazing, Casey. Make sure you all are signed up with Lumio and that you're following Lumio on all of their social media, everywhere, the YouTube. Make sure you're following Wakelet. And then Casey's contact information is there. Are you only on X, Casey?
No, so I'm on X at KCG316 is where I'm on X. You'll also see that I am EdTech Empowers on Instagram. So you can follow me on Instagram at EdTech Empowers or on X at KCG316.
Amazing. I don't see any more questions, Casey. Honestly, it was so awesome. You gave them so much information, and we hope that you will take what Casey has given you in that resource collection. I'll pop the resource collection in the chat one more time, just to make sure that you all have that. If you have any questions, you can contact me or Casey. And then I'm going to go ahead because I know you guys want the certificate link. And I'll tell you and remind you again that when you fill this out, you'll be entered to win swag, not only from Wakelet, but also from Casey. Casey, you rock, they say.
Oh, awesome. We had such a good time with all of you guys today. It's really easy to get on and talk about my love for both Wakelet and Lumio because they're both awesome tools and love to work with them together.
Yeah, it honestly is. I just recommend you go in there and start experimenting. And again, Mario said in the session for Genially early this morning is start small. You know, Casey's an expert at Lumio. And when I asked you, you know, if I asked you where you are, some of you are going to be at a 1, some of you are going to be at a 2, dabbling, but just start small. If you, like me, just use the sticky notes and see what happens. And then add on from there. And before you know it, you will have an incredible lesson like you see here. Casey, I always like presenting with you. So good.
Me too. It's always fun because you're my friend. So it's just fun to hang out. I will say too, for those of you that are new, we do have a Lumio Educators Facebook group, which is a great place to go as you're starting. There's educators in there that have been using it. My team's in there. We're all former educators that obviously use Lumio too. We want to help you and guide you along the way and make sure you have the right resources. So that's another great place to jump in and get some help.
Casey, if you'll put that link in the private chat, I'll pop it over for them because we want to make sure that they have that support as well. And I know Monica's in the chat. She may still be, but Monica's also a great resource for Lumio, just as Casey is. Let's see if we can get that. I'm going to add this to the stage and then let me grab that link, Casey.
Perfect.
There you go. You guys go and join the Lumio Facebook group. Monica says it's awesome. I feel like the community with Casey is very similar to the Wakelet community. They all come together to help each other. I don't know, Casey. I think are we done?
We're done.
It went by so fast.
I know. It goes by too fast every single time. But I always love this event. Thanks for inviting us. And thanks for everyone that joined and gave us a little bit of your time today.
Absolutely. Okay, you guys, stay tuned. After this, you've got about a 30-minute break before James is going to host the Moat session with Alex Isaacs. You don't want to miss that one. Remember that you can rewatch any of these sessions, including the session with Casey about Lumio at the YouTube channel. You can replay, you can share those out. We're excited to see what you're going to do. Stella is going to update her Lumio web mix and Wakelet binder. That's really exciting. Make sure you tag us, Stella, when you do that. We'll see you all, guys, and we'll see you all another time. We just have one more session, but you know we'll have webinars, and I know also Casey and Lumio do webinars, so make sure you sign up for those as well. Okay, Casey, until next time.
Until next time, have a good one. Bye, everyone.
Bye.